So yeah, I don't know if anyone heard about this, but apparently the Supreme Court determined that AI music can't be copyrighted or have intellectual property protections, which I find interesting because that seems like kind of a really complicated issue because like I agree that like you shouldn't be able to copyright like generate a cat and then say like I own the rights to this design. But at the same time, Timberland like generating a weird video of himself, I don't think like the image of Timberland is then public domain. But I don't think that's the argument either, but I don't know. Like the whole AI thing is crazy that people are so protective about it.
AI-generated music was just dealt a death blow by the United States Supreme Court. So if you are a musician, a songwriter, or a producer, this may affect you more than you might realize. Let's get into it. Something that needs to be said is that every single video on AI is pure speculation. And since it's full of emotions that could skew perspectives, I'm gonna do my absolute best here to just lay out the facts of the situation, interpret this news, and let you know where I think it may go from here. A couple years ago, this guy, Stephen Thaler, tried to copyright an AI-generated image called A Recent Entrance to Paradise.
That's funny. It's a very ugly image, but I guess he wanted to copyright claim it. What is demonetized? Demonetized is when you monetize something, that means you're making money off of it, and demonetized is that you aren't making money off of it. So demonetized. So demonetized derived from currency status, legal tender, remove the value from the monetary standard. So it's just removing the value of AI, essentially.
And this was denied by the US Copyright Office for the fact that it did not have human authorship.
Yep. I don't blame them for being like that because, like, if someone else generates, like, the exact same image, like, how can you protect that because there's no human element to it?
They appealed this decision, sent it through the court system. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and as of March 2nd, 2026, so just a couple weeks ago, the Supreme Court denied hearing his case. What that means...
That's funny. He tried again and failed.
is that you cannot copyright AI-generated art or music, with a couple footnotes, which we will get into in a bit. And ultimately, if you cannot...
So the guy with the NPC Your Tuesday Live isn't making any money? Oh, am I misreading? So the guy that with the NPCs on Your Tuesday Live isn't making any money? Oh, that guy? I doubt his channel is monetized, but that would be different. Like, he can't make money off the video itself, so he couldn't, like, sell a DVD of his AI-generated NPC playing and, and be able to keep, like, he can't have copyright protection. So, like, if I was to take that video and put it on my channel, he'd have no ground, for owning it, because it's just seen as not being able to be copyrighted. So I could just upload his video onto my channel, is essentially what this is coming down to. Like, he can't, like, he could probably monetize it if he's with the YouTube program, but he can't protect his copyright.
Cannot register something.
Also, I don't think his channel would be able to get monetized because I don't think YouTube wants to monetize AI YouTube channels, because that would be a bad look.
For copyright, that means that you cannot own it. And if you cannot own it, that means you cannot collect royalties on it. So let me say that again. You cannot collect royalties on art that you do not make.
But people are. You can't, like, in theory, but, like, people are. There's a lot of AI generated stuff out there which has proven to be profitable. Because if it wasn't profitable, people wouldn't be doing it. So I suspect a lot of these TikTok pages that just post AI all day are still making money off of it. Probably not a lot, but, you know.
And that is huge, because think of all of those AI-generated artists that have commanded headlines from music business publications over the past year, and those AI music generation farms that just crank out hundreds of songs per day. They may not have the same financial incentive to continue doing that. Now,
I think they'll have the financial incentive. They just won't be able to protect it. Like, so everyone will just be stealing their generated content and then, like, trying to make money off of it as well. And then eventually, after that snowballs, like, that's all going to just be, like, really cheap. Like, because, like, there's going to be less value if everyone's just, like, literally stealing each other's content.
Now, one of the biggest areas where music makes money isn't in streaming, it's in advertising. And I remember back when I was teaching a college course on audio engineering and music production, we had a class on AI-generated music, and almost all of us unanimously agreed this is probably going to be the final nail in the weird advertising coffin.
I mean, a lot of advertising music sounds AI generated anyway, so, like, to me, like I was watching a reality TV show yesterday, and the music that they were playing in this transition scene of, like, a bunch of, like, idiots, like, going from one place to the other, a bunch of that music just sounded AI generated anyway. So, like, to me, like, those, like, reality TV shows are just gonna be AI generating content in the future. Like, they're not even gonna, like, make real like they're not gonna hire musicians anymore. They're just gonna, like, generate it, because, like, it's gonna be played for 30 seconds anyway, and it sounds generic as fuck anyway. So, like, that's just what I'm predicting, if it's not already being done already, you know.
In the music business, which makes sense, because when you think about it, why would a marketing company pay a composer and studio musicians and studio time when they could just get their unpaid intern to prompt a few options and we could go over all those at lunch?
Yeah, that's essentially what I was thinking. Yeah, it's it's a sad time if you're a struggling musician.
Like, it didn't make sense. And the interesting part about this is that companies really like to control their public image as much as they can anyways, right? So
Yeah, so, like, if, as he just said, like, the companies like to control their public image, and what's better than having literally no musician at all? Because, like, the computer's not going to get in a scandal or do something problematic or tweet something offensive, are they? They're just going to exist, which I think is what his point is going to be.
Underline this. If I were to sing to you that the best part of waking up is something about coffee in my cup, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Or ba-da-ba-ba-ba, you might be loving it. But here's the deal. Like, those songs are held by the owners of the copyright, so no one else can use them. Which means if you can't copyright AI-generated music, that music will exist in the public domain. And that means that anybody can use that music for...
I don't know if that's what ended up being true. We're going to have to look that up in an article, but yeah, probably.
For any reason at any time, which is a potentially scary thought for a lot of companies and marketing agencies, and could be enough reason to hire a composer and some studio musicians and book out some studio time.
True, but I think, like, there's, like, a lot of stuff where it doesn't even matter what the music is. Like, when you watch car commercials, like, they don't give a, they're already using licensed music, right? Like what he's talking about is a jingle and like a catchy jingle to recognize the brand. But like there's a lot of companies where like they just have like whatever kind of music on, just to like evoke a certain emotion within the commercial. And I think car commercials for sure are going to just use AI generated music because like the average person's not going to be able to know the difference. Like there's people that believe that Charlie Kirk's song was like sung by real people, you know?
Which I think is interesting. But there's a lot of footnotes and, frankly, a lot of unanswered questions here. So we understand the framework, right? You cannot copyright art and music that's entirely generated by AI, right? However, that is not the only use case here. Like, what if AI generates the backing track and you sing on top of that backing track? Can you copyright that song? Or can you only copyright the vocals, but the backing track has to stay in public domain? Or this one's been happening a lot recently, which is what if AI generates the lyrics and the melody and all of the music, right? But all of that is extracted out and that is re-performed and re-recorded by human musicians.
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer.
Is that available for copyright? Like, we need to define what human authorship means in a legal sense. And look, it's a scary world right now, and it seems to be changing by the second, really. And like right now, a lot of
Yeah, I was just thinking of Leafy. I was just thinking of that JPEG Mafia song. High or Not on the Drugs or something. Yeah, I was just thinking about that and like yeah, like I'm guessing people could just reuse that instrumental and he doesn't have protections. But he still would make money off of it. He just wouldn't have the copyright protection. Like I could just take that beat and then sell it. But there's like strings that add on top, so I don't think I could take the strings because I think the strings are an original element to the song.
us are asking the same question because we're all extremely passionate about music, right? But we have no idea if there's going to be anything that resembles a career in music in 12 months. Like, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? And I think the reason why a lot of us are asking that question is just because we're all feeling it right now. You know, like, I'm going to walk us through a little thought experiment here in a second. But before I do, I want to ask a question and think about this. But when was the last time that you did something creatively just simply for the act or the love of doing that creative thing?
Every day. I make stuff every day just for me. But I understand most people have a goal that's like to live off of it, I guess.
With no expectations of anything in return.
Me.
Let's imagine that we all live in a world where everyone is doing well. Like everybody's bills are paid comfortably, everybody has housing and healthcare. No one's afraid of falling behind or drowning. Oh, how glorious that world would be. Now let's imagine the music that you make in this world. Would it be different from the music you're currently making? Probably, right? Which makes...
Yeah, I'm making the music I want to make. If anything, I'm just like more like not happy with the, like where my music, like creatively, like what kind of style and textures I want. But
sense when you think about it, because like it's really tough right now to just make music for the sake of making music. Like we're all pressured to monetize our hobbies. But imagine...
That's why I'm trying to monetize my channel, that we're gonna make highlights for this song, so that way I don't have to worry about the music making money.
Imagine how amazing the music would be if we didn't have this added pressure for that music to also have to be profitable, right?
You have to make a fan base. You have to be out there and make what I'm trying to do right now. Create like a following.
Let's also extend this out to my producers and audio engineers. Like, how amazing would it be to engineer and produce that music in the world? Like, you wouldn't have to worry about if something was professional enough for your portfolio. The word amateur actually comes from the French word amateur.
Okay, I'm worried that the rest of this is just gonna be inspirational stuff. But yeah, that was an interesting video.